Yes, Coach, we do need to hit the record button. Thank you. Well done.
Been here long enough, I guess.
Good start. All right, well, we've got to recap last week's game. I know you don't want to, but we do have to go over last week's game against Hanover, which was a weird one.
It was. And I will admit, this is probably one I've been looking forward to the least out of all of them that we've done together. But
me too. We're not used to these.
Let's not get used to them.
No, for sure. I was
yeah, we'll go through it.
It's a weird one, you know?
Like I told the guys on at Monday's meeting, we're done. That's over and it's in the past. Many weeks from now, we can look back at it and kind of try to examine it some more. But we got to put it past us. So here we are.
We'll get things started off. You went the opposite this week as what you did last week. You won the toss and this time elected to defer.
So, I think I did watch your live stream
Carter only got his way
Sunday.
Once. Huh?
Well, and a little bit of it was that week before Denison, we knew they were going to basically take the play clock down to 1 second. And so we were attempting to basically start faster than and that's why we took the ball that week. But typically we'll defer to the second half. So, we ended up on the first drive, or our first drive, we were able to march the ball down pretty well, and then a turnover is the one that, a penalty is what backed us up a little bit, and then we ended up with a Dylan Day field goal there.
Yeah, you guys, Eddie Williams ran that sucker right down the field on that first possession. He was very impressive, and on that drive became Elma's all-time rushing leader.
Yeah, and it was that first drive?
It was that quick,
okay.
Yeah. It was just that quick. He had 40 yards on the possession.
And really proud of Eddie. He is, this year I think his focus and his drive to be the best version of him is showing through. To be on top of that board is pretty incredible. I think the number 2, Chris Clark, set that record back in 1969.
Right.
So that's quite impressive to have a record for that long. And, I be honest with you, I hope Eddie's gets broken very soon. I mean, I love Eddie, but that means the Scots are rolling if we keep breaking records. But I think it's going to be here for a little while. But he's running really well, and
he is.
and physical. Man, that's the
majorly physical.
That's the part that showed Saturday. I think he had some open runs in weeks before, but this one was yards after first contact.
We'll talk about that even more in a minute.
Impressive,
here. Second quarter, they tie the score at 3. Then they take the lead with 16 seconds to go in that second quarter, 10-3 into the locker room at halftime. You guys had like 10 penalties for over 100 yards in that first half. I'm sure the locker room, you probably weren't overly pleased.
No, I'm going to take full blame for this one. I mean, I really got caught off, taken out of my focus in my game. I was letting outside factors, I'll put it that way, of distracting me and my focus, which I think, in turn took some of our players.
Sure.
So that will never happen again. I've got to learn to let things go. If the ball doesn't bounce the way I want it, or a whistle blows that shouldn't, I'm going to have to let it go. And that's just a learning point for me. And so halftime was not one of panic by any means, because I knew we were a better offense than what we had been doing. I mean, defense is 10 points, 9.5.
Defense is playing great.
Yep. But offensively, I really was pretty confident that if we just play our game, we'll be a heck of a lot better. So.
Well, you came out in the third quarter playing much better football. You create the turnover. Could have been a better turnover, but not for an inadvertent whistle. They said you guys recovered a fumble, which was great.
And
I would have liked to have matriculated that back to the end zone.
And I want to give a shout out. I can't remember who hit it. I think it might have been Joey Kostrubiak.
I think so, yeah.
But Aiden Lindsay a freshman scooped up that, and he, excuse me, again, he would have went into the end zone and gotten the
untouched,
the
yeah.
6. Yeah, so I feel bad for him. That doesn't come very often for a defensive lineman, and especially for a freshman to get that would have been really pretty special. But
capitalized quickly. Brock Miller with a 10-yard touchdown catch. He looked very good on Saturday as well. 10 apiece, and then you guys get a stop, immediately take the lead. Eddie Williams with. You talked about the physical run. The 19-yard touchdown run was a very physical run.
There were, when we say run after first contact, there's probably run after 6 contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
For
he
him
broke
on
a
that
lot
one.
of tackles.
He certainly did, and I think carried one in. And so, obviously, proud of him and the way that the team's responding. Right, I feel like at this point we've got some momentum going. We've got. We're answering. I mean, the offense is clicking. Defense is staying their same course.
Right.
They're playing really well. Led by Kugelman. I think he had 12 tackles.
Yeah.
So Kugelman with 12 and Jet King and Brock Beaudry having a slew themselves. And I already mentioned Kostrubiak, but he had 2 tackles for loss. He had the sack. He forced a fumble. I mean,
he's come a long way.
He's
come a long way as a linebacker because he was a bruising tailback for you early in his career.
And we found injuries just kind of bit him when he was playing running back.
Exactly.
So, I think the words I said to him, maybe you need to become the hammer instead of the nail. And and so that's the goal and why we moved him over there. But he was a phenomenal safety in high school, so it wasn't like it was something new to him playing defense.
Right, not a huge change. Then a couple of drives that you didn't finish with 6 that may have ended up costing you. A couple field goals, though, by Dylan Day, 39 and 35.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, so Dylan stepped in. We've had a couple injuries, one that day with our kicker, and so Dylan stepped up to fill that spot and was doing phenomenal. I mean, just not only the field goals, extra points, but his kickoffs were great as well.
And they got progressively better after each score,
Absolutely. And so
big tip of the cap.
Man, what a great lesson to learn of being ready and performing when your number's called, right? Because had the second to last play of the game not happened, he'd be our go-to guy now.
Obviously.
But really proud of him. Yeah, we were set up at 4th and 4. We were going to go for it, and we had a procedure penalty, backed us up to 4th and 9, and decided that's just too far. Let's bring him out. He did drill that one, but I'll say it. Our holder got ran into, and that would have been interesting if we would have moved back up 4th and 4. I probably would have.
Surely you would have gone for it again. Yeah, no
doubt. And then, but. Yeah, so
23-10, you guys were up 11:25 to go fourth quarter, and then they have 2 very long scoring drives.
Yeah, hats off to them with that, running the clock. They did that very well. Yep. Their last score was with 28 seconds.
But 28 seconds left on the clock, and you've got 1 timeout left is all.
Yeah, you typically only see it with the pros and with field goal kickers that can go 60 yards, to think 28 seconds is enough time.
By the time the kick return was over, there was 21, I think, left for Carter and the offense, and they just walked it down the field and gave Dylan Day a shot.
Yep, and again, the wherewithal, I think Eddie could have probably pushed. He caught one of them. He probably could have pushed it for another couple yards.
At the very end on that last play. And Topher made a great point. He is going away from the scoreboard. He has no idea how much time's left on the clock. He knew he had to get down to preserve an opportunity.
Because I think we snapped that ball with 8 seconds or 8.2.
Yeah, something like that.
And then
Ended up with
down
2.
with 2.4 or something. And
which there was more yardage that he could have gotten, certainly.
And
but,
then with
he
that
knew he had
time,
to get down.
Yep, that timeout gave us enough. Obviously, we were set up for a last-second field goal, and sadly, we had a roughing the kicker, and then had to put a Scott player in a tough situation to win a game. But
the toughest situation possible. You go to your ex-string kicker, who certainly hadn't warmed up all half,
right. And
it was impossible.
Very tough situation put him in, and boy did he! I told him later. I feel awful for you that's the situation. Is your first attempt as a Scot, and he said it's just going to give me motivation for my rest of my career.
That's awesome.
And proud of that answer.
That's a
perfect answer. So, I was bummed. This one stung.
Heck yes.
This one stung a lot, but proud, really happy, and we'll talk about it in the third segment here of how our guys have responded to the last couple of days of practice. But
for sure.
Couple shout outs, obviously.
Always.
Weary said Eddie. Offensive line, paving the way for him, and we've only had 1 sack this season.
Right.
So
here's one I want to give a shout out to. Tyler Herzog. He only had to come in for 2 plays.
No, but he got a
pass for 10 yards and rushes for 12 yards.
Yeah, and got those first downs.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely, it was. But like we've said, defense is just playing extremely well.
Yeah,
Ryan West had a
that
deep
might have been his best
interception.
game.
I mean that was a tough catch to pull that ball down. I swear that ball was in the air probably 40 yards.
It was up for a long time.
But like I said, Kugelman, King, Boudry, and Kostrubiak just playing outstanding ball.
Fantastic football being played by them, and I'm so excited to talk about next week's game against Hope.
We will get to that one, that's for sure.
It's going to be a great clash between 2 really good football teams at the top of the MIAA just to kick off the MIAA season. So, we'll talk about that, but we are going to switch
Let's
gears.
talk some running.
We're going to put on our running shoes here with Scott's cross country. I think it's cross country season right now, right? He coaches every discipline of running imaginable, but I'm pretty sure it's cross country season right now. We'll talk with Coach Chovanec when we come back.
All right.
It's the Alma Coaches Show. And welcome back to the Alma Coaches Show. We're live from Pizza One in downtown Alma, joined by Alma College head football coach Jason Couch and Scott's cross country coach Matt Chovanec. In the middle kind of your cross country season now, are you not?
We are halfway through the season at this point.
Well, hey, I was right then. How about that?
Yep.
Let me guess, you can't hear.
No,
I can hear you.
You good?
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
He's okay. He'll be all right.
We're good.
So, tell me a little bit about the season thus far and the prospects for the remainder of the season.
So far, we've been doing very well. It's been a very hot season so far.
Kind of atypical with the weather, right?
Exactly. And long story short, it was probably the good week to catch me. Our women's team won their first invite. And I don't even remember how long. We kind of went back and looked at records, and we know it's been at least 15 years.
Okay.
Haven't gone back that far. And then also our number 1 girl, Sophie Deck, was MIAA Runner of the Week. So
that is an excellent week to catch you.
It's awesome.
So
that's fantastic stuff.
So
I'll tell you, I'm going to interrupt because there was a Tuesday. I think it's typically Tuesday you do some track work, right?
Okay.
And they are just like sprint a lap, walk half or something, sprint a lap. I don't know what they're doing, right? But we walk off. It was hot. It was probably one of the 85 degree days. Mm-hmm. And I asked one of his runners, I said, what did you run today? She goes, just 8 miles. I'm like, oh, my God. I got to died.
Yeah.
I will tell you, they have committed to this season, and their off-season training showed it as well. And it's been just, awesome to see the rewards from what their work has been over the summer. So we're hoping for a lot better placing in the MIAA and the NCAA regional.
Oh, for sure.
It was great. I tell this story to everybody. They said, well, what'd you say to the girls before the race on Friday last week? And I said, take care of business. Because last year we missed winning that invite by 9 points, and we had everybody back, and we kind of knew that. We had that one circled on our calendar for that race. So
that's good stuff.
So how many? Where was this?
Yeah.
So it was at Lansing. Lansing Community College sponsored it, and there was 13 teams. And the nice thing is, second place was Ferris. So probably the glorious thing. And I get that, they held some of their people out, but I think they thought they were going to walk in there and take care of it. And when they were handed the second place trophy, they didn't look too happy.
No,
which
I bet
was
not.
kind of nice. I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely.
So it was fun.
Awesome.
Sure.
That's great.
Now, how many score and get points, I guess?
Yeah, I was wondering this yesterday when I saw the high school meet going on at the country club, and there were 1 million people out there running.
Yep. So there's the top 5 score. So it's your place is your points and the low total wins. Then you have 7 that count as varsity. So the other 2 are what we call displacers. They just push the other teams further back if they don't have their 5 in.
Okay.
And then obviously we have more than that, but it's one of those things where it goes back and forth sometimes. And what you have is that, I always say this, the stopwatch doesn't lie. Your best 7 are going to be on that day.
Sure.
And it's been different for us every single time this year, which has been great.
So has there ever been where a 6th and 7th person, right? That what'd you call them? Displacers?
Displacers, yes.
Have they ever gone in front of opponents and basically boxed them out?
Hit the brakes a little bit?
Sometimes. I mean, there's a little bit of strategy goes in that. I don't, what happens in the woods stays
Does
in
that
the woods.
become
We
dirty?
always say,
Is that dirty play?
No, it's part of the game as well. You want to do what's best from, your team, because you can win a meet with the lowest score possible in a cross-country meet is 15 points.
Okay.
If you can win 15 to 48, that's if your first 5 make it in without your 6 and 7 displacing any of the other team, or 15-50, which is the most that you can get there in that situation. So, but we scored 36 points, and I think Ferris was 63, and I think it was
big.
GRCC was 64. So
nice.
We put 6 women in the top 14 that day, so it was really awesome.
That's good stuff.
And then on our guys' side, we're coming along. We're young. We had out of our top 5, 3 are freshmen. So really excited about that.
Sign.
And the future is bright for them. And like we talked about this week in their meeting, we said, the women were in the same situation 3 years ago. We're very much junior-senior oriented on the women's side, whereas the men's side we're more freshman-sophomore oriented. So it's just, kind of how the cycle works and what's going to happen going forward. But I'm excited about where we're at. We're in a better spot with our young guys right now and doing very well. So.
Well, that sounds great. What do the prospects for the league look like here?
So the women were picked to finish 5th this year.
Okay.
We've got a little, our sights set a little bit higher than that. We're going back to a place where I think Olivet's hosting this year. Last time we were there, we finished 3rd. So, it's kind of like that's in our sights. And then on the men's side, we were 7th last year, and obviously hoping to be higher. We'd love to be in the top 5 for sure. So that's
so does it all come down to all conference that one meet?
That one day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
No pressure.
Yeah. I mean, you get the cold, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be ready. That's the big thing. And the top 16 runners are all conference.
Wow.
The first 8 are all conference first team. Second 8 are all conference second team.
So then is it all about, I guess, right? It's all that weekend, right?
It's all about
the focus.
trying to figure out where your training is at.
Do you taper? Do you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Huh?
yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
That is good stuff.
Well, I had a son that was a swimmer, and I know they tapered, so I wondered.
It is exactly the same thing. It's really tough though, because you've got that, and then 2 weeks later you've got the NCAA regional, which is so you have to be careful about how you do it, and then go another 2 weeks of training just to get ready for that.
Would it be different for some of your runners compared than the whole team,
it
right?
Is,
you may taper somebody else later for the NCAA.
Yep. Some of the tapers, depending on where they're at in the team, are a little bit more aggressive than other ones.
Sure.
For sure. So, but yeah. So
and when is that?
So our conference championship is at the beginning of November. What is it? November 1st, I believe, or no, October 31st. Sorry, that October 31st of Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then our NCAA regional is November 15th.
Okay.
So
Okay.
A little bit of time, but not a
Yeah.
lot. But that's
it's
that's
coming
good
along,
stuff.
but doing very very well.
So essentially, these are leading up or are in preparation for that, getting used to being in traffic, getting obviously
everything
right?
we always have like mini assignments in the race. These are things that we worked on in practice. Let's go see if we can apply them to a race. What did you learn? I always ask. That's the one question in our post meeting that we have right after the race is, what did you learn today that's going to make you better for that next race coming up? And then when we get to championship season, it's very simply about, okay, now you've learned all these things. Can you apply everything that is going to make you a better runner in that situation? And can we have our best performance? Everybody talks about personal records, but it's going to be best performance,
Right?
Because weather always plays a factor. We never know if it's going to be 30 degrees,
and
70 degrees, whatever.
The course can make a big difference too, right?
always. So
All right,
they're all
so
very
we're
different.
not the hilliest.
No,
we are not.
In Gratiot
We are.
County.
You've noticed
So,
that, huh?
so when you face a track like that, do you travel? Do you jump on a treadmill?
Well, I will
and
tell you,
raise it?
a lot of stuff that we do in the weight room is what is for that situation. And so we're usually prepared for that. And then if it's a hilly course, we'll try to preview it ahead of time just to make sure that we understand kind of how it works. Because like I tell them, for every uphill, there is a downhill. So we just can't go crazy going up them and let gravity take care of itself on the way down. So it's about how you use strategy in the race itself and what you're looking for as far as racing against those teams, within the conference, within the regional, and so forth. So
awesome information.
I have a non-cross country, but a track question.
All right, I'm looking forward to this one.
Here we go.
All right,
Here we
your
go.
opinion. And I don't want you to feel like
I feel
you're
this pressure here. So
is steeplechase something that should still? That's got to be tough on schools. I mean, that's an expensive one event.
It is.
That's for sure.
So do you? It's basically the history behind it is that it's an English cross country race on a track. In English cross country back in the day, used to jump hay bales and ditches and so forth. So the barriers represent the hay bales, and the water pit represents the ditches. And so they wanted an event that would kind of mimic that on the track years ago. And so somebody sadistic invented that, and that's the race that we have now. So 3,000 meters.
No high schools have. Almost no high schools.
No high
have
schools.
It, right?
Some high schools do run it. Some states do, but it's 2,000 meters, not 3,000 meters. There's not. Michigan is definitely not one.
But just the cost to.
But
have
it is
that
it's
type
very,
of system in
because
here.
if you remember in our old track back in the day when we were around as student athletes, they didn't have it. We had to have that put in. And that was an additional cost to what was already installed there.
How do you figure out, who your steeplechaser is? Because obviously you can't recruit that.
Sometimes they have to be. Well, I tell them they have to have no fear. That's really
That's for sure.
Kind of number one requirement
because,
is, are you willing?
Because there's an art to that. Some use it as a launching. Hurdle
I never did it. I honestly. People try to convince me to do it. I saw somebody hit it with their knee, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not for me. But
because they're heavy.
It is. They don't move. It's not a hurdle.
Yeah,
it's a barrier.
But there are hurdles also, right?
Yep. But they still don't move either. They're just as heavy as the one on the water. So, yeah. So it's about no fear.
I'm not built for that event.
Do you have some athleticism? Can you hurdle?
It's kind of fun to watch. Other than it's pretty long, but
yeah.
I do possession myself right by the water to see if anybody.
As does everybody else with a
anybody
camera
eats
and
it
video.
right in there, right?
Exactly. So for sure.
All right, well, good stuff. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will preview Saturday's game at Hope. Back to the Alma Coaches Show after this. And welcome back to the Alma Coaches Show, live from Pizza One in downtown Alma. And, Coach, it's on to MIAA play.
Let's go.
And on
Onward.
to Hope this week. One of the biggest games of the MIAA season right off the bat.
Yeah.
And on the road, and just a great opportunity to go down there.
That's exactly what it is, opportunity. I'm really excited for it. There was part of me last year and maybe even a tiny bit this year going, man, I wish this matchup was later in the year. But,
sure.
But I'm not, I don't control it, so I can't worry about it.
It sets the winner off on a pretty nice course through the league, though.
Yeah, I mean, there is some other
really good football teams,
yeah.
yes.
We've got, Kelvin receiving votes and Adrian being undefeated as well. So I think every week you just got to buckle it up and be ready to go. So
no doubt about that. But what do you expect?
I expected
Saturday?
a good game, it'll be a packed house. It's going to be exciting. It'll be loud. Their fans will be loud, but I can tell you that our focus has just been about going back to us. I say it many times on the radio, but reiterated it today to the team. I'm asked quite a bit. Are you worried about Hope? And no, because I can't control them, right? So I worry about us and our effort and attitude that we put forth every single day. And
does
guys,
Alma's best beat Hope's best? I think so.
Well, we'll see on
hopefully
Saturday.
we see on Saturday.
We see on Saturday. And that's all I can ask our guys is give their best, because when we do that, we're pretty good. And, our guys are they're amping up. I don't want them to, be too juiced up right now. We'll let that build a couple more days. Yeah. But I'm pretty confident that come kickoff time, the Scots are going to be ready.
I am very confident in that fact as well. Looking forward to that football game. And, just a quick little preview of the MIAA. You sort of just went through it. You guys are very good. Hope's very good. Adrian's very good. Calvin, maybe.
Well, Calvin's
they're going to get good
undefeated.
Fast.
They got a running back. He rushed. They gave him the ball 40 times last week in an overtime win against Heidelberg. I think he rushed for 244.
Yeah.
And that's not his first game over 200 yards rushing. So we'll dive into them next week, because that's who's coming to town for homecoming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but right now it is Hope that is on the clock, and
that's
a 1 o'clock kickoff. We will be there on Saturday. If you want to hear the Alma perspective of things, listen to us, 104.9 WQBX.com. We will have all the action beginning with the Mercantile Bank Scots pregame show at 12:45. Definitely appreciate those of you who choose to do that when we head on the road. That's awesome for us. So I'm sure there's a live video from Hope as well that will be posted. But,
there will be.
So if you want to see the video, do that. But, mute them and listen to us.
Yeah, there you go. The old Tigers when you could listen to Ernie, right?
Listen to Ernie on the radio and watch it on TV.
Absolutely. God, man, that just brought back some memories of my dad doing that.
Yep, that'll take you back a long way. But, if folks want to do that, we strongly encourage it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, well, our next broadcast is going to be Friday night. The Alma Panthers look to make it 2 in a row as
Let's
they
go,
take
Panthers.
on Freeland. That'll be a tough matchup, but I think Coach Allison has got the guys moving in the right direction, so looking forward to that. Military Appreciation, 6:45.
Oh, that's always great.
Yep, that's always a good time, isn't it? And then Saturday, 12:45, Scots and Hope.
Let's go.
Anything you want to add before we let you go, Coach?
As always, thanks everybody for their support. And, of course, we're going to close it out with a Go Scots!